Hello everyone, welcome to a new planty video. It is me, Desiree, and today I want to kick off a new series called Plants I Used to Hate and Now Love. And I'm going to focus on one plant at a time, talk about why I used to hate this plant with everything in me, and then how I came to love it. So today's plant is going to be the Zenzi plant. There are many reasons why I used to hate this plant. For one, everybody always recommended it. Everybody recommended it as the beginner plant. It's so easy. It doesn't need anything from you. It just sits there and lives its life. And when I first started getting into houseplants, that's not what I wanted from a plant. I wanted a plant that I had to fuss over, that I had to check on every single day, that I wanted to water all the time or do something with all the time, you know? And the Zenzi plant is just not the plant for that. It just kind of sits there and lives its life. It can take any kind of light conditions. Of course, it's going to thrive better in brighter light, but it can definitely handle lower light without any issues. You don't need to water this very often at all, which is not something I wanted when I first started with plants. I wanted, like I said, I wanted something that I needed to do something with all the time. And I hated this plant. I hated the way it looked. I hated its long stem thing. I hated the shape of the leaves. I didn't like how glossy it was. It just looked so fake to me all the time. And I bought one. I bought one anyway. It was about this big, about 6 inches tall. It was 3 little stalks. I found it at a local nursery. It was $11. And now that I've been into plants for a little while, $11 for a 6-inch Zenzi is way too expensive. But anyway, I had it for so long, for a year, and it never did anything. It never grew a leaf. All it did was die because I was overwatering it because I didn't know anything about the plant at the time. One of the stalks fell off and died, so I just had the 2 left, and it never did anything. I hated that plant. Every time I saw it, I'm like, you don't do anything for me. And then one day, I was over at Walmart, and I saw the clearance plant section. It was around this time last year, actually. I should go check now and see if they have anything on clearance, because I found this. I found the Raven Zenzi, which is the black version, or like the very, very, very dark green that it looks black. Normally the Zenzi plant will just have like green leaves like this, but I found this there for $8, and I got it actually for my boyfriend because I just thought he would really like to have a plant. I don't know, I just thought he wanted one, but he never expressed any interest in a plant, but I thought he would want one. And what did I buy him? The plant that I hated the most. I don't know why, but I was just like, you know what, I think he would like it because the plant doesn't need anything from you, and I know he's not going to want to tend to a house plant all day long, you know? So I bought him this plant, and he loves it. Loves this plant so much. It sits on the kitchen counter. It gets nice ambient light throughout the day. Definitely not like a bright light situation, but it's good light throughout the day. And then at night, it has a night light. Not there for the plant, but the night light's like one of those lights that turns on automatically, like when it's dark. And it's like this close to the plant. So it gets like light all night long from a night light. And I think it really just thrives in that situation because this grows all the time. And he always goes and points out how much new growth it has. All the new growth are these green parts here. And then they do change color. As they mature, they'll turn the super dark, like almost black color. There's a new growth point here. There's one there. There's one here. And then there's one here. Like it's always, always, always putting out new growth. And you don't need to water this very often. Like I said, we had this for a year before watering it. I bought it in August of last year, and we watered it probably in the beginning of July or so. Crazy. Like we went the whole entire year without watering it, and it did great, but that's not what I wanted from a plant, right? So I didn't like it at all. But then as this plant was growing and growing and growing, and he kept talking about it, I felt this jealousy just rearing its ugly head, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a Zenzi, and it's gonna be way, way better than that one. So guess what I did? I went and bought one. And here it is. I did go buy it because I was like, I want my own Raven Zenzi, and I did find this on clearance. Let me see if it still has the price on it. Oh no, oh shoot, I just spilled soil everywhere. I peeled it off. I want to say this was like $4 or $5. It was on clearance at my grocery store. And this one never ever grew. Never grew for me at all. I've had this thing for a few months. It's never done anything. But now that I went to pull it out for the video, look, it's got a little growth point there. There's a little one right there. And then there's a little cute little sprouts coming up from the soil. So it's starting to do something. Not as prolific as my boyfriend's, but I love it in this pot. I also got this on clearance at the store. I pulled the tag off, but I'm sure it was like $4 or $5 maybe. And I love it now. I really like this plant. I have it here on the bottom shelf, so it's getting like okay ambient light throughout the day, nothing high level or highlight at all. But I really like this plant now. I think it's so gorgeous. And what made me really fall in love with ZZ plants is my ZZ Zenzi. And that is this one here. So this one is also a ZZ plant. And this one is also a ZZ, but it's just a different variety. This one's called Zenzi. And it just has a different growth pattern. As you can see, like, look how freaking cool this is. It grows on this like thick little stem, and then the way the leaves just grow in this pattern is just so cool. I love the way it looks in this pot. It just doesn't just look like a piece of art. It's just so beautiful. This one has never grown since I've had it, but even if it stays exactly like this, I think it just looks perfect. It actually looks fake, doesn't it? But I bought this at a nursery when I was out on a trip once in Las Vegas, and I love it. It actually feels like it needs water, does it? Because some of these stems look like a little pruny. I don't know. This is one I do struggle with to know when to water it. You know what I mean? I don't know when to water this plant is what I'm trying to say. Because the stems are so thick and the leaves are kind of thick, I just don't know when to water it because it feels like a succulent-like it's probably holding a lot of water in the stems and the rhizomes and the soil. So I think I'm gonna water it though, because I've had it for months, like since May, and I've never watered it. So let me know though, let me know your tips on the Zenzi. Should I water it soon or is that too soon? But anyway, I love this one a lot. I can't believe I ever disliked the ZZ plant, because now I love the shininess of the leaves. I love the pattern of the leaves. I think it's gorgeous. And then I bought another one at the grocery store. You're gonna freak out when you hear the deal I got on this one. Okay. This big boy, this big giant ZZ plant was $6. $6. So you gotta check your grocery stores. Check your grocery stores for clearance plants. They're always putting them on clearance. I went back and forth on whether I should get this because I thought, do I really need another big plant, especially another ZZ plant? And I thought, well, if I'm still thinking about it when we leave the store, I'm gonna go get it. And I immediately ran and got it. It was extremely overwatered. Like the soil was sopping wet when I got it. So a little bit of the plant did die back. Let me pull it out so you can see its full glory. I just repotted it into this plastic planter here because it was busting out of the pot. The roots were all over the top. They were crawling out of the bottom. Like there wasn't a lot of soil in it at all. But this was only $6. I can't believe it. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It was very shaped. It was shaped kind of funny. Like this leaf here was straight out like this, like growing straight. But my boyfriend actually leaned it up against the wall, and over time it like stood up straight like that. So it's amazing. I love this plant so much. I'm all about the ZZ plant now. I want them all. I want them everywhere. I want them all over my house. I think they're just glorious. They look like they're fake, but they're not. They got this super shiny, like naturally shiny, glossy leaf. And let me show you a little closer. They have this really like naturally shiny, glossy leaf that just looks fake. And it's so easy to take care of. I think the worst thing you can do for this is overwater it. So my care tips for this plant, it can do well in any sort of lighting situation, whether that's from low to high. At least that's been my experience. Low light, it's not gonna thrive. It's probably just gonna kind of sit just like this and not really grow a whole lot. Higher light, it will grow for you, but it's also a slower grower. Like it's not gonna be busting out with new growth all the time. Even the new growth that's on the Raven ZZs, it takes a while to actually grow out and stuff. And as far as watering goes, like I said, I struggle with this one. I've never watered it, but I'm not sure when to water it. And then the other ones, I water when the leaves kind of look a little limp because they have this big bulb under the soil that's called a rhizome, and then that's where the plant kind of grows from. If you've ever repotted one of your ZZ plants, you'll have seen that big old bulb there if you kind of move the soil around. And I think that's where it stores a lot of its water, and in these like thick succulent like leaves. So I don't water it very often at all. Like I said, I went a year without watering the Raven ZZ. And then this big one here, I haven't watered at all because it was sopping wet when I got it, and a lot of it actually rotted. So I'm gonna wait till this one kind of looks a little limp, like it needs water, like it's looking a little not so like straight up, and then I'll water it then. So in my opinion, I think it's definitely better to underwater than to overwater, especially with a plant like this that takes so long to grow and to grow this big. And like this huge one that I have, it took so long to grow this big. You can easily kill it with one overwatering. So err on the side of caution and always underwater your ZZ plant. You know, you'll thank yourself later when it's not dying, you know what I mean? So that is episode 1 of plants I used to hate and now love. Let me know if you love the ZZ plant or you hated it like I did because it's just so low maintenance, like it's almost no maintenance. It's like a no maintenance plant. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another planty video. Goodbye.